friends, and welcome back to Violin Teacher YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about audition music for a local youth symphony, and this is an excerpt from Mozart's Opus 25 Symphony, and it is in G minor. So I'm going to give you a few practice tips on this thing, and the first tip is that it goes really fast. So I checked on YouTube, and I'll leave a link in the description for a video that you can listen to. But I checked professional symphony playing, and it was at about 150 quarter beats per minute. 150 per quarter beat. Okay? So that's pretty fast, but I don't think your symphony will probably want you to play it that fast. But the point is, please, practice it slowly and then practice for speed. So as I've been working with students on this excerpt for Violin I, I have come up with 4 or 5 tips that will help you. And I want to just start with the end of line 1, where you have to move into second position, because that's kind of the hardest place, isn't it? The beginning of line 2, where you play that part in second position. Well, there's really not a better fingering that I can think of, so I really suggest that you go ahead and get yourself ready to play that in second position. And if you look all over my YouTube channel, you'll see there's exercises and pieces and shifting and stuff like that that can help you become more familiar in second position. But this is just one measure. But one of the most important things that your auditioner wants to hear is good intonation. So you may as well give it a shot. You've got until, September 11th or so. So, okay, here we go. I'm going to start with the last measure of line 1. And I'm going to take this kind of slow. Well, that part's easy, right? So, right after you play those sixteenths, you've got a F sharp right there, and just move it up a half step into second position, and there you go. So that's the first thing to practice. That running group of notes. Practice that for speed. Alright, then once you get into second position, so that's the first unit. Once you get in that 1 on the E in second position, that's pretty easy. I think that's not going to take but maybe a couple days, and work on speed. Then you're going to play this first measure in line 2, and that's going to begin with open A, and then that 1 right there is going to hop over to A. So kind of keep that 1 in place. You've got, then you play A, and you can lift the 1 off, but keep it close to the fingerboard so you know right where it goes. And if you happen to want to study second position a little bit more thoroughly, then you can look for these second position etudes that I am giving you. They're coming up soon. There's some exercises about just this very thing, and they're from the Quint Etudes. But make sure you watch for those, okay, so you can be ready when you're playing this piece in orchestra in your symphony. It's probably going to have other spots with second position in it. So if you do the second position etudes that I'm giving you, these videos that are coming up, you will play this piece much easier. So here we are. We've just slid from F sharp to G natural. That's a half step. So that's not too far to go. On separate bows, so you don't hear a slide. Alright, and then you're going to play A, hop the 1 over, and it's right there. So that's good. Alright, so that's 1 unit. Practice that lots of times. Just that. It's really hard to get that unit with your fingers like that. Right? That first group of sixteenths, but that's what it has to do. And we do it again in a minute, don't we? Okay, so once you've gotten into second position, we have the next unit, which is, and that's going to be like holding the 1 and stretching the 4. So you've got to kind of get that in your ear, because otherwise you won't play it in tune. Open A, 1, 4, 2, a whole step from 1 on E. So look at the whole step. So your fingers are going to, your 1 is going to hold second position. Then you're going to stretch that 4. It's almost right where the violin starts, right here. See that? For me anyway. Maybe it's the same place for you too. Then the 2 is a whole step on E. And all the while you're playing that, you're holding 1. You play the A first. Alright, so let's think about that for a second. What would be a good way to practice that? Let's change the rhythm. If you play 4 notes, then you get a chance to tune it up. And here I'm tuning it up. Right, so when that's easy, then let's just do 2 notes. Maybe we'll do 3. See, 1. Ready, go. A little faster. Now 2 bows per note. Alright, so keep the 1 so you stay anchored and you're not moving your hand when you stretch for that 4. Because it's F sharp and it's a stretchy 4. Once you've played that unit, now play it with 1 bow per note. Good, let's try to get it a little faster. There are dots on those notes, so they are staccato. And at a faster tempo, maybe off the string. Alright, so you can try your spiccato if you like. Just a little tip on spiccato. It's played in the lower half of your bow. Got to have a nice firm bow grip, and then your whole arm will just swing as you play. Sometimes it's called the brush stroke, because your bow, if you've ever painted, say you're painting your bedroom, okay, and you take the brush and you approach the wall. Let's say the wall's right here. You approach the wall with your brush and you go. You make contact with it, and then you come away from it. And then you go up, and you make contact that way. So you're doing these brush strokes. You can do it on a piece of paper, too. That's what the bow is doing. It's landing kind of in motion. Easier when you go faster. So when you come away from the string, just come off, just stay really, really close and let your whole arm swing in there. Now you don't want to pull back, so watch for that. Practice in the mirror, looking in the mirror as you do that. For Mozart, it is very handy and expected to have a controlled spiccato brush stroke coming off the string, and that'll maybe, as you get your units faster, you can play off the string a little bit. Practice that. Alright, so once you've practiced those 4 notes, the third thing you need to do is anchor that 2 that you just played, because that's going to be the center of the next group of sixteenths. So let's play those. It's important to notice that the finger pattern in this group of sixteenths has changed. Now it's like this. And it's very handy for, if you want to play in tune, for you to notice the finger pattern. What I mean by finger pattern is where the half steps are, where the whole steps are, where the spaces are between your fingers, and that way you're thinking of a whole group of notes instead of just one note after the other. If you can think of the finger pattern and how it changes, then you're kind of ahead one step, aren't you? Because you know where you're going to set the fingers down. So you've just played that G, or let's see, it's an A. Yeah, it's an A. You just played that at the end of the first 2 beats of the second line, and you go down bow. Now look where those fingers are. There's a whole step between 1 and 2. There's a half step between 2 and 3, and there's a whole step between 4 and 3. So watch for that. Alright, so then jump down to first position. This should be easy. On that second finger, jump to the third position. So you're going from G natural to B flat. Remember, that's a flat. That's where like flat 4 plays usually. Alright, so now that's your anchor finger. And the pattern is different in this group of 16th notes. So you have this finger, second finger will touch 1 now. Whole step, whole step. And jump back down, and this is the first, this is just like the first one you played, this finger pattern. Alright, and as you follow through with the rest of this musical line, I urge you to remember the E flat. You can't play open E here. You can't play open E anywhere in here. So use 4th fingers. Let's see. And here, on this little spot, big on the bottom, big on the F sharp, and less on that. So there are going to be a lot of more lesses. If you can play that up to tempo, play it really softly on the last little bit. Okay, so that's the first 2 lines. Now I just have a little bit more to say about those finger patterns in the 16th note runs. So we have pointed out the goal first is to get into second position. So you've got that unit to practice, remember? That's your first unit. The second unit is to hold that 1, starting right there, to play that, hold that 1, and to play that nice high 4 and get that group of notes in tune. The third unit is to play this group of notes with a different finger pattern in second position. And the last part is putting all that together. So let's do that slowly. Third position shift. Alright, so here's a little way to practice those running notes now, because the running notes are a big concern. Each one of them is in a different finger pattern and in a different position. So let's do 4 times. One more. Next one. Next one. So you've got 4 of them, don't you? So do it 4 times, now 3 times. Great warm-up too, so you can do it at the beginning of your practice. All right, 2 times each. So that's really good. So you'll know you can get into position and play those in tune. So let's go back to the beginning now, and this is the syncopated rhythm. And I had a little fun with one of my students this week. And it's really helpful if you want to get the right rhythm, if you've never heard a piece, to put a word phrase to it. Like, you may have heard the word or phrase, everybody stop, stop. So that would be, everybody stop, stop, right? So we do that from the very beginning in the Suzuki method. If you've never put a group of words together to help you play a rhythm correctly, then let me just show you this rhythm. So that's a little bit tricky for some, perhaps, especially maybe if you're, this could relate also to the second violin, because we do it in second violin part 2. So this week my student was playing and that doesn't fit with what's written, so I was trying to get my student to play the right phrase, the right rhythm. And so I said, I like ice cream, and you like ice cream, and she likes ice cream, and we like ice cream. So that's the rhythm you want to play. And the rhythm that she was playing was, I like potatoes, and you like potatoes. Okay, so I told her, well, you have to choose between ice cream and potatoes, so which do you want? And I got her to play the right rhythm. Now what's tricky about that is the last bowing. So you have that last little up bow at each time, so you can begin that rhythm down on the down bow each time. And notice the dot on the music. That's a good unit, isn't it? I would put those two measures together as a unit. Okay, so we've covered the first 2 lines pretty much. The last 3 lines, try to get your bow kind of off the string a little bit. So stay close to the frog and remember the dynamics. Your auditioner is going to be listening for that. Use your 4 there, okay? Get your elbow under. It's pretty awkward, isn't it? Okay? I noticed that we have use your 4 on G, a low 2 on G. So watch that, because we got B flat. Then we go to the D, and we have that string crossing. Practice that open string bowing really fast, okay? For that 3rd group of 8 notes. And then what do we have next? We have another crossing there. So we got and then we have to go from a B flat here to here. So it's crossing over the D string, and that's kind of sloppy. It's kind of be better to do that in 2nd position too, but I don't think you're going to have time. There's a lot of crossing over the D there that can be really messy if you hear the D in between your notes. So let's look at it a little more closely. Let's do each group of notes 4 times. As many times as you want, but okay, the next one. Your piano, so so you don't have to put too much effort into it. This is up bow. Let's add the bottom, the G. All right, now we've got this uncomfortable, and it doesn't give us any indication that we need to stop the bow or anything. So you're just going to have to really get over there. You can still hear the D. I don't think there's anything you can do about it. You're going to hear the D, unless you play that in second position. Let's see, where you could shift. Okay, so that's a good fingering right there if you want to do it. I'll show you that one. Right on that one, so we play. Right here, and then move up to the F natural. But now at this point you can't play any open D anymore. So you're going to go 1 and then 4 on the G. So that's going to be really a better fingering, more advanced, but you've got to get it in tune. Okay, so that's up to you. Either you cross over and have a little bit of a messy B flat to B flat sound, or you work on then you can shift right there back into first position. Watch the 2 hopping. And you've got from 3 to 3. But, see. You could actually, you're not slurring, so you could actually get by with first position on that. Now at this point you're double forte, fortissimo. So be in the upper half, use a lot of bow. If your fingers are getting tied up, use more bow. And then stop this. Give a little separation. And this is where you will really watch your conductor when you're playing this piece. Okay, so I hope this has helped, and I wish you good luck on your audition. Now I'll play this through.